Good afternoon, FBC. Salinas, this is Pastor John coming to you with another edition of the Midweek Refresher video, where I desire to provide some information as well as inspiration for you in the middle of your week. If your week is not going well, I want you to know, hopefully this video can be a source of encouragement for you and remind you that Jesus Christ understands what you're going through at this particular time. He's with us, He will not fail us, and He will continue taking care of us in so many different ways. Hey, just a couple announcements to make in the informational portion. The first is this: I, on behalf of the elders, want to simply say, hey, thank you for your overwhelming support this last Sunday at our annual meeting. The budget passed unanimously. Jim Martin was reconfirmed as an elder. Our officers were elected and reconfirmed as well. The momentum that we're building is really, it's refreshing, and especially in light of all that we've been through in this last year, it's amazing to see that God is still going to do great things through us. Remember what I said on Sunday, it's our desire to get running, to get moving forward, and we're going to continue to do that as time progresses, and more importantly, as the Lord leads us. I'm asking you to be praying for us as we go through some decisions regarding the Constitution and other things like that, but I first want to say thank you for that. Thank you for your support. It's been awesome. The second thing is this Sunday we will be celebrating communion, and so those of you that are joining us online, you want to have those communion elements available for you at the end of the service, and so I wanted to alert you to that, and we look forward to celebrating that as well. We'll continue our series on Jesus, the great master storyteller. This weekend we're taking a look at a parable that talks about Jesus coming back, and boy, there's been all types of talk about him coming back over the course of the last number of months, and frankly, I'm old enough to say this, we've been talking about Jesus coming back for a long time, and so just because we're in COVID and all that went with that, yeah, Jesus is coming back, but we've been anticipating his return pretty much since he ascended. All right, so keep that in mind. Now, for your entertainment purposes, we're bringing back something that we did a long time ago. Remember when I was interviewing people with rapid fire questions? Well, we're going to do that again today, and it is my privilege, my joy to welcome up one of the kindest people on the planet, who has been through, just understands what it's like to have a young family in the midst of COVID. And so I'm going to slide over, because we're going to respect social distance. I'm going to slide over here, and I'm going to welcome up right now Quinn Pisoni. So Quinn, come on over. All right, have a seat there. And so you know how this works, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to do rapid fire questions. You can take as long as you'd like on the answers.
Okay.
And know this, I promise you this, I won't embarrass you that much. Okay?
Can I say one thing before we start?
You may.
So your entire introduction you did without notes. And I was really impressed. I watched these for a year plus, and I'm just impressed. So.
Well, thank you. That's very kind. That doesn't make the questions any easier. Just because you're trying to, you buttered me up, but it doesn't work.
Okay.
I might even double down on some of these things. All right? So here we go. You ready for your first question?
Yes.
What is your favorite color?
Purple.
Purple.
That was easy. Thank you.
Okay, there we go. What is your favorite time of the year?
Summer. Except, honestly, and I'm sorry for the natives, but Monterey County summers are a little cold for me. I wish it were warmer. So here, I guess September-ish,
okay,
but
when
in
it's
general summer.
Okay,
yeah.
You and my wife would get along very well on that. She does not like how cold it is here a lot of the time. So that works. What is your favorite sport?
Gymnastics.
Did you do gymnastics growing up?
As a child.
Okay. Did you go into cheerleading and things like that?
I did cheerleading for a year, and then I decided,
not going to do that?
No, I'm not going to do that. Okay. And then I dove, so it was kind of like a progression.
You were a diver. What was your best dive?
Probably front flipping.
Front flipping. Real quick story. I once tried to do a front flip. I overextended. And I landed
on your belly.
Flat on, no, well, that, or let's just be honest. This belly it produced a big splash. We'll leave it at that. And I never tried it again.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry.
no, that's okay. I'm okay. I'm still alive.
Yes.
You know, but I'm really good at can openers. I mean, I can bust a great can opener. I can make a big splash. So
I like it. Good.
Thank you.
Good.
So now another question is this: you went to UC Davis.
I did.
What was your major?
Crop science. Davis is called Agricultural Systems in the Environment, but it's basically crop science.
Crop science. And is that where you met your husband?
I did.
Okay. And how long have you guys been married?
It'll be 16 years this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is really cool. So I'm happy about that. And we talked about this before you came on. Their mascot is the Aggies. Let's be very frank. Pretty blah. Pretty blah mascot.
Well, I'll just explain it. It was the Agricultural University for Cal. So it was the first ag college in the UC system.
Way to defend the UC
Well,
Davis
yeah,
Aggies.
I need to.
You do need
It's a
to.
great school.
No, do you guys send money there to support them?
We sent enough money.
Exactly. It's crazy. But it's good because I get a phone call from Wheaton every year saying,
yeah.
"Hey, would you like to give a couple $100?" I'm going, you guys took a whole
You
lot
took
of
it
my
all already.
it's already gone. So you've been married 16 years. All right. So now let me ask you this: you work, and part of the reason why we're sitting in front of the Awana, you have served as a volunteer for Awana. What age group?
I work with the Cubbies, which are preschoolers, 3, 4, and 5.
3, 4, and 5. Okay. What is one of the lessons that you've learned since helping with Awana?
It doesn't matter the age or how young, these kids are ready. They want to know about God. And even if the lessons are basic, we're really like planting a seed.
Yep.
And it's so cool to watch them from the beginning of a year. I have them usually for 2 years, so from the beginning to the end. How much they mature just in general, but then how much they mature in their knowledge.
That's
and they're feeling that God really does love them.
Yeah, and that he's there for them, and he's not going to bail on them. I think what you guys do, you know, Lorraine's leadership is phenomenal, and then just the whole Awana thing. What you guys are doing is investing, and people say you're investing in the future. I'll give them that. But the deal is you're investing in lives today.
Yeah.
You're investing today, and that's a beautiful thing. So I appreciate your hard work in serving on that. Okay, you're welcome. We've gone through COVID. It's been over a year now, and we've done this guided prayer thing. And one of the topics that comes up quite frequently is praying for young families. You and Mark have 2 young children, Davis and Avery. Great family. You guys have been in the midst of this, and so I want to ask you this. What is, if you could boil it down, what is one lesson the Lord has taught you through this COVID season as we've been praying for young families and frontline workers and first responders?
So I'll first say that I've had very little notification that I was going to sit here today.
Good, that's good. That's right.
But Pastor John did tell me about these questions, which I
You're
appreciate.
welcome.
Gave me a minute to think about it. And I don't know if this is exactly what you were expecting me to say, but I learned or was reminded that I really like my children and I really like my family.
That's good.
And that's like, well, what was your problem? You didn't like your kids?
Right.
But so much time before this was spent rushing. And I was the drill sergeant. Really, we got to be here, we got to go there, we got to do this. You know, I mean, you're just constantly feeling like you're nagging and you're telling your kids what to do. And it just gets tiring for everybody.
Yeah.
And so not having all of those responsibilities or pressures we put on ourselves has really allowed us just to enjoy ourselves. I think it's improved relations between my kids. It's improved relations like between me and each child. The challenge now is as things open back up, and my kids want to do certain activities, and I don't want to like deny them of that, but what do we do to make sure we don't lose that, to make sure that we don't get back in this rat race thing?
Yeah, it's really easy, right?
Yeah, and I love my husband, but I knew that.
We know that too. It's obvious. But the question is, you sort of open the can. So, which kid do you love more?
I can't say that. And they ask me all the time. I love them both for different reasons.
I understand, and I
Right?
could not wait. I was hoping you'd just crack the door
They're
open.
going to watch this and they're going to be like, oh, is she going to answer?
Is she going to answer?
She's
She's
talking
gonna
to
answer?
Pastor John.
Well,
She
and
has
the
to
thing is,
answer.
off camera, she did tell me what
No.
that's not true.
It's
That's
not
not true at all. So then, and what I do in this rapid fire. Do you have any questions for me?
Oh, wow. That was on the spot.
Yeah, it was.
Seeing young families and having been in your position before, what was one thing that you would do differently that you could then let us know about?
That's first off great. That's a spot on question. If there's one thing, and you already addressed it by what you've learned through COVID. I've just been doing ministry before I even met Dawn, right? So I've been in ministry doing this youth pastor and all that kind of stuff. And we have a family, and the one thing that I look back and say, man, I wish I would have done a better job on that. I wish I would have spent, and this is going to sound very basic, wish I would have taken time to slow down. Because I made an assumption that my kids were always going to be around, right? And you get sucked into that. And in the midst of taking Heidi to a soccer practice or taking Stephanie to a band thing or whatever, I mean, we're just constantly, we're moving, but I didn't slow down enough. And then Heidi will say stuff to me about what I thought was an insignificant thing, but yet it made an impact on her. The quote unquote mundane things that we do as parents with young children pick up on stuff and they appreciate that time. And so as you ask that question, I mean, that's the one thing I would wish we could go back and perhaps have more time. I sort of get a little bonus with our granddaughter Gabriella, even though I don't get to see her that often. But I know this, that when we're hanging out, it's going to be a blast. You know, we'll have a great time. But it's time. And then the other thing, if I may add one more answer to that, your children are watching you all the time. And that's a serious responsibility. And so pay attention to the way, you treat them, the way you treat your husband, the way you treat others. Like when we would go out to restaurants, my family knew this, that I would, in essence, interview the server, and they're like, Dad, what are you doing? But I want my children to know that no matter who you are, you're a human being and you are to be loved and you are to be cared for because God loves you. And so I do that, and they would roll their eyes with the different questions I would ask and things like that. But you're an example, and that example is set by over the course of time. So we'll see it that way. Is that a good enough answer?
No, that was a great answer.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. You're very welcome. So you're off the hook. Okay, you made it through it. All right. You're welcome. So email Quinn. I don't know what her email address is, but you'll figure it out. Search her on Google and all that. You can just reach out to her. Those of you that'll be with us this Sunday at worship, you can say hi to them and just give her a shout out and just say thanks for volunteering. She was completely put on the spot just a few moments ago. So hey, as we talk about this, and I'm going to wrap this up real quickly. I was talking about being an example. Listen to these words from Philippians chapter 3, verse 16. Paul says this, only let us live up to what we have already attained. There's that phrase at the end, already attained. And as I look at this verse and I think about this, what have we already attained? We've already attained forgiveness, so we live a forgiving life. We've already attained strength, so we can keep going. We've already attained joy. So what happens in the midst of all that's going on around us? We turn to Him. We live that out. We've already attained these things. They're already been given to us. And what Paul is saying is one of the things that needs to happen in life is this, as we live out our life for Christ, is we live out these things that we've already attained. They're already been given to us. It's my prayer as we go into the rest of this week and as we continue forward throughout these seasons that lie ahead. It's my prayer that we would live out what we've already attained. The love, the forgiveness, the strength, the joy, the peace, that we would be living those things out. And it doesn't mean that things are going to go smoothly. What it means is that He's given us what we need to keep on going. Hey, I love you. I hope you've enjoyed this extended version of the midweek refresher and that you were encouraged in the process. Please feel free to email us, text, make a phone call, drop in. The church will respect distance, and we'll do all those types of things. But I want you to know this: I love you. It's a joy for me to serve alongside you and to be here with you as we continue through these days. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.